I work in the CBD in the very heart of the city, so pretty much all grey and buildings and indoors and aircon. And, you know, I come home on the train and I guess coming from the front, which is still mostly the original garden, it's a lot of monoculture kind of planting, and then you sort of walk down the side of the house through the path and it's a bit of an explosion of life, really. It's just such a relaxing, kind of energising space to be in. Well, I guess our philosophy with gardening is really all about edible beauty. So we kind of want to have the best of both worlds. We don't just want a purely productive, functional garden, but we want one that's, you know, both feeds your belly, but is also really, really beautiful and kind of feeds your soul as well. And so we've tried to construct a garden that kind of does both. So it's filled with fruit trees, you know, over 70 varieties of fruits. We've made use of every single inch of space, including vertical space, and like lots of heirloom seasonal vegetables, but then that's all interspersed with, you know, beautiful companion flowers. I've got 4 worm farms, compost system, just got chooks. We've got the fish pond as well, which fits into the whole system and produces food and fertiliser for us. You know, really focusing on creating a sustainable but beautiful, productive and nourishing space for us. So this is an old fig tree that it actually produces inedible figs. So what we've done is we've used this as a climbing frame for our insane fig leaf gourd vine. Looking at it now, it's probably going to produce 60 to 100 fruit this year on a single vine.
Jian's kind of the bigger gardener here. She's definitely gone into it with a passion. But I mostly do the cooking inside, which means I get to play around with all the ingredients, the amazing stuff that comes from her garden.
Actually, it's all very new to me, and I think of myself as very much a beginner. I mean, this garden was created, most of it really in the past two and a bit years. And particularly since having young kids, I did some research and reading into the fruit and veg we put into our bodies and what goes on with conventional agriculture, and some of the things that I read really disturbed me. We started switching all our produce to organic fruit and veg, and as anyone who's bought it before knows, it's really expensive. So we decided to get serious. And so I went to visit heaps of other gardens and just saw what amazing things people were doing, even in small courtyards or with just a tiny inner city block, that they could grow 80% of their own fruit and veg intake. And that was just so inspiring for me. My parents actually lived here originally, and after we got married, we bought the place off them. It was a hard decision to tear up an already landscaped garden, but, you know, for us, it didn't sit well with our values and what we wanted. We wanted a working garden that was beautiful. So we tore up plants and then, you know, bit by bit, and we replaced it with things that we loved.
Jian's had a vision in mind. She's a person with big visions, and I couldn't always see it. So I was hesitant at first when we had this quite good established garden, and then wondering like what's going to happen when we get rid of certain things. But you can kind of see the outcome. It's come out amazingly. I definitely appreciate that she's done an amazing job here. Yep.
Ladybird is full. That one's here too. Oh, here's one.
It's hard to believe, but just a few months ago, this whole area was concrete. And since then, we've put up raised veggie beds, put up arches and planted a berry patch and a whole range of produce, including the tromboncinos. I've recently got my hands on 2 jujube trees, which I'm very excited about. It reminds me of my grandma, and the fruit is really hard to buy here fresh, so I'm very excited to be able to grow my own at home and be able to bring back some of the taste of my childhood. If I think back to my earliest memories of where maybe my passion for gardening started was when I was little. So I was born in the heart of Beijing in China, and my grandmother had a small courtyard there. And I just have vivid memories of my 3-year-old self going around pinching off her begonia flowers one by one and just squishing them because it just felt so rubbery and nice. And, you know, maybe that was my way of expressing my love for plants. Then we moved to Australia and, you know, moved from home to home. Like, we moved house 12 times and lived in a flat and a unit and just didn't really have access to the green space and being in nature that I would have liked. It's really magical, actually, to be able to see the kids interact with the garden, and that's what really motivated me to get it done so quickly, because for them I really wanted to create a good start in life. They see how much work it takes to produce a single tomato. I just feel like you can learn so much from your garden, just about life and resilience, and to not get, you know, sidetracked in life, because it's so easy to become obsessed with things that, you know, are superficial and don't really mean anything, whereas to see them smell the flowers and see the insects and pick little bits of ripe food and enjoying it and just having fun outdoors, that's what it's all about. I've never studied horticulture, work a totally different 9-to-5 job. And while, you know, juggling kids and full-time work, we've worked really hard to create pretty much the garden of our dreams. You don't need to have sort of formal training, but I just feel like if you have the passion, just go for it.